I apologise for my attire, guys, but it's Sunday. I'm out here doing annoying jobs in the garden, cutting hedges and doing gardening stuff. That's really not my favourite kind of thing to do. But despite the fact that I'm midway through chopping down a rather large hedge, I'm stopping to give you today's first look. The press release is here. Let's have a gander. Reuben settles the score with Grace. Less than impressed with Grace's recoupling speech, the next day Reuben decides to pull Grace for a chat to clear the air, heading to the kitchen area to ask if they can speak. Grace replies whilst making her cereal, "Can I just eat?" But with the matter in hand pressing, Reuben replies, "Actually, do you know what? We put the eating on hold." Jessie overhears, remarking, "That's going to be a hangry conversation over there." Explaining how he felt during the recoupling, Reuben says to Grace, "I think you definitely said how you felt. Thinking about it, I'm thinking you could have probably said that between us two." Relaying the conversation back to Matilda on the beanbags later on, Grace confides, "I was feeling really good and wanted to spend my time with him, but now he's just pissed me off." But will the new couple, Grace and Reuben, be able to make amends? Now, as far as I remembered, her recoupling speech said that, she was enjoying getting to know him, but she was still really open to get to know others in its early days. I didn't think she said anything particularly bad, but apparently he took offence to it. But guys, as Reuben said himself when he arrived to try and woo Matilda, MIMII or Jessie, he knows what women want, and he knows about women, guys, so he's in complete control of this situation. The Islanders play today's challenge game sex match. As the Islanders relax around the pool, Reuben receives a text which reads, "Islanders, it's time to see who's in sync on and off the court in today's challenge, game sex match. Hashtag serving facts, hashtag making a racket." Donning their best white tennis outfits, it's all to play for as the Islanders head down to the challenge area to begin proceedings. With new bombshell Lonnie and Connor named as the umpires for today's Love Island game, couples will face questions to test if they're as compatible as strawberries and cream. They'll write their answers on a racket. If their answers don't match, they're in for a swilling. If their answers do match, they take one step closer to the net. The couple who reaches the net first wins. As the Islanders get ready to serve facts, they answer questions on their partner's favourite sex positions, which couple they'd ghost outside of leaving the villa, and what they don't like about their partner. But it appears Joey is ready to ruffle some feathers, as when asked who they think their partner would be most likely to couple up with outside of their current match, when Grace chooses Josh, Joey is quick to say, "I feel like if Grace was being totally honest, she would have written my name." To which Grace replies, "Stop trying to mix the pot, it's so boring." As the game plays out, tensions continue to rise, as Jessie reveals of Joey, "He doesn't like me being friends with Grace." And Matilda adds, "It's giving Joey's not over the situation with Grace. You're so bothered about it." But with some home truths served, who will come out victorious? Interesting to note, as people have already noted on social media about Grace, that she likes a certain type of man, because there she is able to pick who she'd date maybe outside of her current couple, Reuben, and she picks Josh. Yeah, so before that, it was Blade. So there is a definite pattern here, so I find it interesting that Joey thinks there's still something there, when clearly I don't think Joey is the kind of guy Grace is into. MIMII is torn between Josh and AYO. That evening, MIMII and Nicole head to the terrace for a heart-to-heart. Speaking about her and AYO, MIMII reveals, "Obviously, we still feel things. We've just put things at a hold because we're both in couples and we need to explore these couples." Nicole asks, "Is it more a case of you don't want to hurt people in the process of that? Because from today, from the challenge, from what I can gather, there are still feelings." MIMII replies, "We care about the people we're with, so we don't want to say anything that's going to hurt anyone. Of course we still have feelings for each other. It's just difficult to navigate how we're supposed to move right now." Nicole answers, "I understand, however, sometimes you do have to think about yourself. You can't hold back on a situation." MIMII agrees, saying, "I feel like I'm stepping on eggshells if I was to have a conversation with AYO again." Nicole offers her advice, saying, "At the end of the day, we're here for you. I feel like you've got to go for what feels right and you've got to put yourself first. If that's what you're feeling, you've got to go for it. I can see it. I can see AYO feels the same." With MIMII torn about how to go about things, will she pull AYO for a chat to discuss where they stand? Well, there's a lot of talk about this on social media, with people saying to MIMII via social media, saying, "Please don't go back to AYO." But there is still obviously a connection there, And I don't know what they can do right now because, as Mimi's noticed, if she chats with AYO, she could kind of get in trouble for that, get unwanted attention. So I guess this week we'll see them resolve it in some sort of way because there's going to be recouplings, there's going to be dumpings, and we'll see who's standing by midweek, shall we? Jessie confronts Joey about Grace. Over on the daybeds, Jessie and Joey head for a chat to discuss the dramatic fallout from the day's challenge. Jessie admits, "It was the whole bringing up you and Grace again. I just thought it was completely unnecessary. I was embarrassed because of how bothered you were." Speaking of their friendship, Joey says it's hard enough having an ex walking around the villa, let alone being best friends with the girl you're coupled up with, he adds. "You're best friends with a girl who I do feel has strong feelings for me. It's very weird. I feel like she's latched onto you because she can't have me." As Jessie quips back, "This is a red flag for me. How can you treat someone you had feelings for in that way? You didn't care how I felt." But with the conversation getting heated, will Joey and Jessie be able to squash things, or will tensions continue to rise? And when Joey later goes to chat to Grace at the fire pit, how will things play out? Not really sure how much I care about Joey and his various dalliances, because I feel like Joey's been a bit of a plant from day one, do you know what I mean? So even though I do like Jessie, I'm not a massive fan of Joey. So if he messes things up with Jessie, that's a shame. But I feel there'll be someone else for Jessie. And the whole Grace thing, I just think it's old news now. In fact, this whole thing is old news. And the idea that Joey thinks, oh, these two girls are fighting over me, they're really interested in me, they're kind of obsessed with me, is very arrogant. I don't really think they are. I just think Joey's looking for a way to become centre of the programme. That's what matters to him. He's got to be centre of the show so that he knows the more I'm central, the more likely I am to get to the final. Isn't that correct? Yes, I'm sitting here with my dog who's making a lot of noise. But there we go, guys. What do you reckon is going to happen? Thanks for watching as always. I'll catch you again later for another first look. Isn't that right, Flash? Yes, a first look. Yes, did you enjoy that first look? Was it fun? I bet it was, yes. You'd rather play with your ball, I think. Yes.